Hey guys, it's Sean from the Comics Pals here, live at New York Comic Con 22. And standing next to me is the artist behind Tales of Mystery Volume 5, Rockstar Paranoia. But don't get it twisted. Austin McKinley is my guest, but he's not just a comics artist. You actually have a deep pedigree in not just comics, but video games, directing, film, all that kind of great stuff. So actually, I'm standing next to someone who is multi-talented. Austin, how is your con going so far?
It's been fantastic. It's people are really excited in this Artist Alley area. We've had a lot of new readers, a lot of old fans that have come up and are excited about the new stuff. So it's very, very validating, very fun.
So you were telling me a little earlier that this is actually your first time at New York Comic Con.
It is. I've never been to this show before.
That is wild.
Yeah.
And welcome. Thank
you.
you, first of all, for coming. What's the difference between New York Comic Con and your, the other events that you've had the luxury of attending?
Well, it's an order of magnitude bigger for
right.
one, but also I think just this Artist Alley area is really authentic and it's got a lot of quality.
Yeah.
I've done shows, small shows, big shows, game shows, all kinds of things like this, and this one just has a really cool vibe. It just feels very chill.
Yeah.
For something so large.
Yeah.
But it's everybody seems like they're having a good time, and it's a very positive place.
And the other thing is that, you stand shoulder to shoulder with such amazing creators.
Right. I mean, Chris Claremont's over there. Jay Lee's over there.
Well, let's talk about you. You're the man of the hour. So you worked on Tales of Mystery Volume 5, as we discussed, but you've worked with Dirk plenty of times in the past over the years, not just on Tales of Mystery, but several different projects. What was it like for you to sort of take the big job and do all of the artwork, the line work for this project?
It was very much diving in the deep end, like we have done 8-page shorts. We did a short film based on one of the shorts, so we've done some long-term projects, but this was a long-form project.
Right.
And it was very exciting to just sort of dive in and not necessarily I hadn't seen the end of the story when I started drawing the first pages.
Oh, wow.
So it was the kind of thing that was responsive and it grew as it went along.
That's fun.
And yeah, we just had an amazing time collaborating on it, Dirk and I and Drina.
Yeah.
It's really fun to have a big project like that where you can spread it all out and look at it and go, okay, how is this all hanging together? How is it playing? Maybe we want to tweak this bit and that.
Yeah.
As opposed to something that you just sort of do and turn in and it is what it is.
Right, more of a collaborative process.
For sure, yeah. And more of a carving out this I hesitate to say monumental, but it felt monumental to me.
Yeah.
In terms of how much I've done.
So you bring what I thought was a very kinetic style to this book. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And for a story that is, kind of like less heavy than a lot of the other mystery volumes that we've gotten so far, I felt you were a fantastic choice to do this particular book. What did you feel that you were able to bring to this one, given the kind of story that it was?
I like to put a lot of energy into my drawings.
Yeah.
Like I want them to leap off the page. I want them to, have all the sort of guitar smashing, monster punching fun that you can have in this medium. Because one of the great things about the comic book medium, it can go places that no other medium can, and it can come alive in the mind of the reader in a way that no other medium can. For all that it gives you, it's still the reader that is bringing the way it sounds and the just the vibe that it's an interaction between the artist and audience. And one of the best compliments I got for one of the pieces that I did when I showed it to Dirk, he's like, I can hear this one.
Awesome.
And I'm like, yes, that's what I'm going for. That is exactly what I was trying to bring. I want you to hear the book.
I love that you talked about the uniqueness of comics, because you are someone who has worked across various mediums.
For sure.
Would you say that working in comics, what are the unique challenges of working in comics versus, say, making a film?
making a film is logistically more challenging. With comics, both the advantage and the disadvantage is there's only a couple of people working on it.
Right.
So that means there's a lot more individual work for each person, but it also means that the vision itself is never watered down. It's you can draw anything you can imagine, and it's anything the two of you can, or two or three or four of you, whatever it is, but it's usually a very small team.
Yeah.
Thinks is a great idea, in it goes. There's no more discussion.
That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So I want to ask a bit about your other work, your directing work. So how did you find your way into sort of making film? I know you did some short films and things like that. How did you find your way into that? And what do you enjoy about it?
As a creative, you're always interested in mediums that are tangential to your own.
Sure.
I was a comic book guy growing up, and in the early part of my career, and then I had an office wherein there was also a video production company, and just as getting to know those people and helping out on sets as a lark, I was like, I could probably pull something together like this too. So I experimented with that. And had a lot of fun. We did a story that I did with Dirk where he wrote a comic short for me and I illustrated it, and then I was like, well, actually, this is just one guy and an environment and some production design. I think we could probably make a film of this too. So that's one of the films that I did is an adaptation of Nightmare World story.
That's remarkable because comics is all about the individual moment. Each panel is like an individual moment of time. And so then to have to take that and then express the moments between panels
for sure
as, pieces unto themselves, that has to be so much fun for you as someone who works in comics and worked on that story. So what was that process like?
Some of it is in the story, the character falls down a very large hill, and that's what it feels like making it. you set things in motion, and then it's going to happen one way or another, so you just have to roll with it.
Sure.
They are different mediums, and there are things that play in comics that don't play in movies, and vice versa. And I think that our short film adaptation, there were some things that we were able to express in the movie that we couldn't on the page. And also some things that were maybe a little too literally adapted.
Interesting.
Things that worked in the comic, but it's like, maybe that wasn't exactly right for the film. But film is one of those things that you have to try it and trust, and some of it's going to play and some of it isn't. And just like in comics, sometimes you will see an artist fail on the page because it's a volume medium. It's a I wouldn't say quantity over quality, but quantity is important.
That's very interesting.
But film is really fun. It's a fun thing to be a part of. Everybody loves to help on the set, so it's a very social thing.
Sure.
With comics, it's just you and your pens and your pencils and a quiet room. So it's a very different creative experience, and you're coming from a different place emotionally when you're making it.
Do you ever find that you need to sort of switch gears and say, okay, we did a comic, it came out, we worked hard, but I need to get out. I need to work on something where there's just more than just me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's been the case on a number of occasions.
I believe it. Well, thank you so much for your time, Austin. I want to give you the opportunity, because there may be people who are seeing you for the first time. I want to give you the opportunity to let them know how they can find you, where they can follow up with you, and learn about all the awesome projects that you've worked on.
All right. All my stuff is on austinmckinley.com. There's links to all the various channels and platforms and such that I'm on, and you can also check out my work in Tales of Mystery Volume 5.
Yes.
So excited.
It's fantastic. I would ask you to open it up, but we don't want to spoil anything. But it is fantastic art. We will have some art in the video so that people can see what you're doing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
For Austin, I'm Sean. Keep following us on all social platforms because we will be here all weekend covering the con, whether it's doing interviews like this one, checking out cosplayers, showing you guys the show floor. We are all over the map this weekend. I'm sure by the end I'll be exhausted, but right now I have energy, so I'm making the most of it. Thank you guys so much. Take care. We'll see you next time.